As the days ticked closer to Ali's return, Aisha sat quietly in her room, holding on to the truth she could no longer hide. Aisha stood outside Danladi's apartment, her heart pounding. She had come to tell him the truth, something that had been weighing heavily on her. She was expecting a child, but she had no idea how he would react. Her hands trembled slightly as she knocked on the door. Danladi opened it, surprised. "Aisha, what are you doing here?" "I need to talk to you. It's important," she said. Inside, they sat tensely in the living room. Aisha struggled to find the right words. "Danladi, I'm pregnant." There was a long silence. Danladi leaned back slowly. "Aisha, I don't know what to say, but I'm not in a position to help you with this. That was never our arrangement." Her heart sank. "Please, I don't know what to do. Ali is coming back soon. If he finds out, everything will fall apart." Danladi stood firm. "Then find a way to make him believe the child is his. That's all I can say." Before Aisha could respond, a woman walked in from the kitchen. She paused at the sight of Aisha. "Danladi, who is this?" Danladi hesitated, then replied, "She's someone I used to know. Zainab, this is Aisha." Aisha noticed the engagement ring on Zainab's finger. Her heart broke. Danladi had moved on and she was alone. "You're getting married?" she asked quietly. "Yes," Danladi replied. "Zainab is my fiancée." Tears welled in Aisha's eyes. "After everything I gave you, this is how you repay me?" Danladi sighed. "Aisha, I never promised you forever. We both knew what this was." Aisha stood up in silence. She had come for support, and instead she found rejection and betrayal. Without a word, she left. Back home, Aisha locked herself in her room and wept. Her world was falling apart. She was terrified. What would Ali say when he returned? Days passed. A message came from Ali. "My love, I've booked my flight. I'll be home in a few days." Aisha felt overwhelmed. The truth would come out, and she didn't know how to face it. After long contemplation, Aisha made a decision. She would quietly end the pregnancy, hoping it would erase the evidence of her mistake and allow her to protect her marriage. But the decision came with consequences. She purchased medication and took it, but her body responded with severe pain. She grew weak and frightened. With the last of her strength, she called her friend Ine for help. Ine rushed Aisha to the hospital, where doctors quickly took over. Aisha was unconscious for hours. When she woke, Ine was at her bedside. "You're going to be okay," Ine whispered, but her eyes were filled with worry. Later, the doctor delivered devastating news. Aisha had suffered complications. Her body had been damaged in a way that would change her life forever. Before she could fully recover, Ali returned home. What he saw shattered him. Traces of panic, pain, and confusion throughout the house. He found blood and chaos with no explanation. After a report to the police and hours of searching, Ali learned Aisha was hospitalized. When he saw her, his heart broke, but he also needed answers. The doctor explained what had happened. Without knowing, Ali was unaware of everything. She had complications from medication, the doctor said. She lost the baby, and there were permanent effects. Ali was speechless, his heart filled with pain. He realized his wife had not only been hiding the pregnancy, but had made decisions behind his back that deeply affected their lives. Ali left the hospital in silence. Aisha was eventually discharged. But when she returned home, she found Ali waiting, not with warmth, but with her bags packed. He asked the driver to take her back to her parents' house. She dropped to her knees, pleading, "Ali, please forgive me. I was lonely. I made a mistake." Ali looked at her with cold eyes. "You should have come to me. You chose betrayal instead." She was driven away, sobbing, back to her parents' home. Ali remained quiet but resolute. He contacted authorities and ensured everything Aisha had given to Danladi was retrieved. Danladi, who had just gotten married, was arrested and later released, but his life had crumbled. He lost his reputation, his wealth, and the trust of his new wife. Aisha, now back with her parents, faced the reality of everything she had lost: her marriage, her future, and the chance to become a mother. She had once chased emotional comfort, but it had come at a high cost. Ali, heartbroken but determined, moved on with his life. The experience left scars, but it also taught him the importance of being present for those we love. Aisha sat in silence, the ticking clock the only sound in the room. She had barely spoken since arriving home. Her eyes were dull, her soul worn out. The once vibrant woman was now a shadow, trying to survive one painful breath at a time. Her mother watched her from across the room. She didn't speak, she didn't judge. But the sadness in her eyes said everything. The doctor's words still rang in Aisha's ears. "You'll never be able to conceive again." It echoed like thunder in her chest. She didn't just lose a baby, she lost her future, her dream, her dignity. At night, she would lie awake, staring at the ceiling, not crying, not praying, just existing. Her thoughts chased her into corners she never knew existed. Why did I do it? Why didn't I stop when I could? But regrets couldn't rewind time. One afternoon, Ine came to visit. She brought food, clothes, and a quiet strength Aisha had forgotten existed. "Aisha," she said softly, "what happened? Happened. But you are still here. That means you still have a chance to heal." Aisha looked at her for the first time in days. "I don't know how," she whispered. "We'll figure it out," Ian replied, "one step at a time." That Sunday, Aisha left the house for the first time. She didn't tell anyone where she was going. She walked slowly, quietly, until she found herself standing in front of a small church building. She stepped inside and sat in the back. The choir was singing. No one noticed her. But something inside her broke. And for the first time, Aisha cried, not from shame, but from the weight she had carried too long. The weeks passed. Aisha began to read again. She wrote her thoughts in a journal. Ian helped her find a quiet therapist who listened without judgment. Healing was slow. Some days she still woke up broken, but other days she smiled, and that was enough. One morning, Aisha's mother sat beside her and held her hand. "My child," she said gently, "you're not cursed. You're not useless. You made a mistake. But you're still loved." Aisha broke down again. But this time, the tears brought peace. Then, one afternoon, there was a knock on the door. Aisha opened it slowly and froze. Ali stood there, hands in his pockets. His face was unreadable. They stood there in silence for a few seconds that felt like hours. "I came to talk," he said. They sat in the garden, not as husband and wife, but as two people who once shared something real. "I was angry," Ali said. "But also, I realized I wasn't there when you needed me. I failed you too." Aisha looked down. "No, I failed us both, and I'm sorry," Ali nodded. "I don't know what the future holds, Aisha, but I came to tell you this. I forgive you, and I hope someday you'll forgive yourself." That night, Aisha opened her journal and wrote, "Today I took another step toward healing. I may never have all the answers, but I have something better now. A chance to begin again." The journey of redemption doesn't erase the past. It honors it. It teaches. It transforms. And sometimes, that's more than enough. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, like, and comment. It really helps the channel grow. And a big shout out to all our new subscribers. I love you all.